Good evening, South Tama Trojan fans. Welcome to another night of wrestling. Tonight we are live from Benton Community High School as it is the last dual meet of the season for, well, both boys and girls teams. Girls getting ready for postseason action coming up this weekend. And the boys are over in Benton tonight, taking on a couple of 1A schools. We are in Benton, but we are not going to be wrestling Benton, as South Tama and Benton have seen each other several times already this season. And I think for scheduling purposes, these schools decided they're going to wrestle two mats tonight. And the JV kids are going to wrestle all four schools, but the varsity teams, South Tama is just going to be wrestling Belle Plaine and Tipton. Well, Tipton a 2A school, so excuse me. So Belle Plaine from 1A, Tipton from 2A. And it'll be South Tama wrestling in round 2 and 3. So round 1 here is getting ready to start. They're having some technical issues with the track wrestling clocks. And once that gets sorted out, round 1 will get started, and that'll be JV matches happening on mat 1. And then on mat 2, it will be Tipton and Belle Plaine. So Benton Community not getting started until 7. And South Tama also getting started. Their varsity duel will start at 7 o'clock, round 2. It'll be South Tama and Belle Plaine in round 2. And in round 3, South Tama will take on Tipton. I'm Darvin Graham. Glad you could be with us for a wet and dreary evening. We got a nice crowd coming in here to Benton Community High School over in Van Horne, Iowa. And we are ready to get some wrestling underway here. And kind of getting to be an exciting time of year as teams and wrestlers getting ready, looking to their conference meets this weekend, and then the district tournament coming up in a couple of weeks. So really the focus on the postseason starting to come into view here, and that's always an exciting time just to see how the season has sort of shook out for kids, and you know what the possibilities could be. It's anybody's ball game when you get to postseason time. Everybody gets a shot, and that makes it, you know, exciting. So we are ready to go for that. It's you know, and girls getting ready. They're doing their super regional tournament. South Tama going up to Mason City this weekend. There'll be about a dozen teams or so competing, and that'll be their state qualifier. And then the following week will be the state tournament. South Tama with a pair of ranked wrestlers currently. The two Ellsbury sisters, Maylee Ellsbury, Autumn Ellsbury, have maintained themselves in the rankings. Abigail Chima has been in and out of the rankings this season. She's a state qualifier, looking to get back there a second year. And should be an exciting weekend of wrestling for the girls team. They've got some girls on there. They have not lost a dual meet this season. The South Tama girls haven't. They've got some girls on the freshman level that really could challenge, looking at the ranked wrestlers coming into that Mason City Super Regional. It's kind of wide open. There's not a lot of weight classes that are really dominated by multiple ranked wrestlers. So it's a proving ground, and it'll be really fun to see how South Tama kind of shakes out. I think they've had a really nice season to kind of get themselves prepared for this point. South Tama's Jason Arp, one of the co-head coaches in his second year, was just honored as a regional coach of the year, and that's kind of goes towards the qualifying factor for coach of the year. And so he's kind of in part of that equation, and rightfully so. Him and Coach Ellsbury have really done a nice job getting the program, you know, up to where it is. A lot can be said for the youth program that has kind of helped South Tama maintain a really high quality of wrestling. And that finds us, you know, with a state champion in our first year, multiple state qualifiers, and an exciting team with a lot of young wrestlers that are competing well. You know, competing to get to state this year. So good luck to the girls team as they get ready for postseason action here this weekend. I'd like to say thank you to our winter season sponsors. We couldn't do what we do without them, and they kind of make everything work for us here at Trojan Country. We say thank you to Burkwood Village of Tama, Toledo, Salt Creek Wind, Mercy Care Tama, Iowa Premium, State Bank of Toledo, Hardin's, S&S Car Wash, Crucy Phillips Funeral Home, Appraisal and Realty Services, Robach Lumber, Stein Robach Floor Coverings, Medicap Pharmacy, Mark West and Hoyer Law Office, congrats to the Mark West and Hoyer folks. They just opened a new location over in Bondurant. Just read it in the paper today. So congrats to Mike Marquess, Wes Hoyer, and the folks over at the Mark West and Hoyer Law Office for that news. Assured Partners Insurance, thank you to them. Sharn Webbers and TFD Photo and Film. All of our Trojan Country broadcasts are made possible by the Charlie Townsley Memorial. All right.
All right, sorry for the technical.
Looks like we are getting ready to go here. They're going to have announcements, the national anthem.
Welcome to Benton Community High School for tonight.
So we're going to we're just going to turn the mic up and let you hear the PA. And we'll come back after the national anthem.
We extend a warm welcome to our guests, the Plainsmen, Trojans, and Tigers, and to their fans. May good sportsmanship extend beyond the floor and into the stands during this wrestling meet and respect the decisions made by the officials. At Benton Community, we make it a tradition to celebrate every official that steps into our gym. So if you would, please rise, give a roaring ovation to our officials that help make high school competition possible. We have Mr. Bob Elick and Mr. Pat Lochran. Thank you for being here tonight, gentlemen. And now for the starting lineups. At 106 pounds, for Belle Plaine, Bradley Lewis. South Tama is open for Tipton, Keaton Schultz, and for your Bobcats, Garrett Cook. At 113 pounds, for the Plainsmen, Hunter Henry. For South Tama, Cale Graff. For the Tigers, Michael Puffer. And for your Bobcats, Jason Eastman. At 120 pounds, for the Plainsmen, Jackson Wida. For South Tama, Ramiro Sackwick. For Tipton, Jason Johnson. And for your Bobcats, Brock Corrigan. At 126 pounds, for the Plainsmen, Hayden Newhouse. For the Trojans, Amari Chavez. And for the Tigers, Gavin Sorgenfrey. And for your Bobcats, Ryan Kohler. At 132 pounds, for the Plainsmen, Peyton Wida. For the Trojans, Clayton Babinet. For the Tigers, Gavin Roth. And for your Bobcats, Eli Kupka. At 138 pounds, for the Plainsmen, Aiden Tim. For the Trojans, Mikhail Bear. For the Tigers, Max Flashman. And for your Bobcats, Elias Bishke. At 144 pounds, for the Plainsmen, Willett Senka. For the Trojans, Drayton White. For the Tigers, Everett Greasy. And for your Bobcats, Brady Patterson. At 150 pounds, for the Plainsmen, Wade Sankett. For the Trojans, Anthony Thompson. For the Tigers, Logan Lanning. And for your Bobcats, CJ Kronman. At 157 pounds, for the Plainsmen, Andrew Argo. For the Trojans, Kinzer Jeanette. For the Tigers, Aiden Graves. And for your Bobcats, Blake Hine. At 165 pounds, the Plainsmen are open. The Trojans, Cyrus Mathis. For your Tigers, Kendrick Heffernan. And for your Bobcats, Brendan Hine. At 175 pounds, for the Plainsmen, Gabe Kaplan. For the Trojans, Marcus Baer. For the Tigers, Josh Stepper. And for your Bobcats, Mason Mitchell. 190 pounds, the Plainsmen, they are open. For the Trojans, Drew Millies. For the Tigers, Landon Hollow. And for your Bobcats, Troy Kupka. At 215 pounds, the Plainsmen are open. For the Trojans, Gavin Bridgewater. The Tigers are open. And for your Bobcats, Will Clausen. At 285, the Plainsmen are open. For the Trojans, Kian McBride. The Tigers open, and for the Bobcats, Brennan Blegan. Head coach for Belle Plaine is Brandon Hine. Head coach for South Tama, Nathan Van Dyke. Head coach for Tipton, Matt Nerum. Head coach for the Bobcats, Gene Pilcher. He is assisted by Brian Tilgenhoff, Romeldo Hidalgo Monjaras, Jacob Reed, and Evan Woods. We are starting at 157 pounds tonight. If you would, please stand, remove your hats, face the flag, honor our country with the singing of the national anthem, being performed tonight by Mr. Matt Hucker.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order of events this evening. On mat 1, which is our west mat farthest away from the door you came in at, will be all JV matches for round 1. On mat 2, closest to the door you came into, the east mat, Tipton versus Belle Plaine. Second round will be Tipton versus Benton Community and South Tama versus Belle Plaine. Third round will be Belle Plaine versus Benton Community, South Tama versus Tipton. Again, varsity will start at 157 pounds. There are 3 JV matches on mat number 2. Looks like 7 matches for JV on mat number 1. Mat number 2, Brody Johnson of Tipton, Eli Meredith, Belle Plaine. On deck, mat number 2, Braden Shulista, Tipton, Parker Weed of Belle Plaine, and in the hole, mat number 2, Austin Ellerhoff, Tipton, Mason Spear, Belle Plaine. Mat number 1, right now, Jonah Berger, Benton Community, Eli Cruikshank, South Tama. On deck, mat number 1, Brennan Robert, Benton Community, Kyle Heck, South Tama, and in the hole, Caden Wright, Benton Community, Cody Blocker, South Tama. 3 JV matches on mat number 2, and we'll go right into varsity at 157. 157, be ready to go.
All right, welcome back here. We are just getting done with our announcements and getting round 1 ready to go here. South Tama's varsity will not wrestle in round 1. It's going to be Belle Plaine and Tipton wrestling their duel, and then some JV wrestlers wrestling on the other mat. We have some pre-recorded interviews with both of our coaches on the boys and girls side, and we have an interview with wrestlers as well. So we talked to Cyrus Mathis, Clayton Babinet. You'll hear from them here in this first round before we get varsity action underway. And then we also heard on the girls' side from Paisley Bro and Livia Smith. So stay tuned for those. We're going to play those throughout this first round while we have South Tama's varsity not on the mat. And we'll kind of cut back into JV coverage as we can. And then we'll bring you back for full varsity coverage starting in round 2. So that's we got started a little bit late. I would anticipate that to start a little after 7 o'clock tonight. So that is the plan here. And so we're going to jump right into our first interview of the evening. We sat down with Coach Van Dyke and got an update on the boys' season. Thanks for being with us here on Trojan Country. It's another Coach's Corner here on Trojan Country. Today we're talking to our STC boys head wrestling coach, Nate Van Dyke. Nate, how you doing tonight?
Not too bad. Just had a pretty good practice in. Yeah. Tuesday practices are usually some of our tougher ones of the week, so good push.
That's good. You guys just came off of a big JV WAMAC tournament here at home at the Roundhouse a couple of nights ago, or last night it was. Can you just give us a recap of how that went for the program and kind of how the JV squad's looking this year too?
Yeah, I thought we competed really well. We're trending upwards. We had 7 JV champs last night, and I think maybe the most we had at any other JV tournament this year was maybe 3. So
yeah.
About 17 JV wrestlers were entered, 17 or 18, which is a good number for this time of year. Usually there's a little attrition there on the JV side, so that's a good number for us. And then to come with 7 champs, I think, see if I can remember them off the top of my head. We had Eli Cruikshank, Ramiro Sakic, Carver Cheechak, Cody Blocker, Raiden Hill, Madden Martinez, and Cal Youngbear.
There you go. All right. Well, congrats to those Trojans. And going to the varsity side, kind of looking over the first half of the season, what have been some highlights that you can recall from this boys' season so far?
I think just trending upwards. You know, we've had little adversity this season through injuries and other issues we've had, but I think just you could see the growth from week 1 to I thought we wrestled really good right before break, and then came back with a really solid PCM tournament. And then even most recently, we were 4-1 in duels last week and knocked off a top 15 team over at East Marshall. So
yeah, looking to the state qualifiers that you got returning, you've got kind of a group of seniors that come back pretty experienced and pretty decorated. How have they evolved their game in their senior season? How are those 3 guys sort of looking at this stage? Yeah. What are you kind of coaching them towards?
It's always nice. I think we've got about 10 seniors on the team, so it makes coaching a little bit easier. They seem to take care of some of the small stuff that you take for granted with those upperclassmen that have been through a full season before and 3 or 4 seasons. But no, they're taking care of business, and they've all got big goals. And with Amari and McHale and Bridgewater, those are our 3 captains. So those guys are leading the way, so to say, but we've got other seniors that are stepping up as well. You know, I was just looking at the lineup, and we've got 10 wrestlers in our lineup with winning records, and we don't have a 6-pounder. So, and then the guys that are don't have a winning record are winning matches for us. So,
some of your younger guys or guys that are just trying to get into that, district and state sort of level. How have they been getting better and improving this season?
Well, they have great competition in the room. They have great practice partners, and to be honest, you need those guys to have a winning dual record. I think maybe we're 15-7 or something like that in duels, and you've got to have role players, and you've got to have guys that are the future of your program. Either they're one of the 7 that are winning JV conference titles, or maybe they're right around 500 as a sophomore or junior, and you're hoping they're going to just keep setting the tone and getting better for next year, because those will be your leaders moving forward.
Right. One more dual meet of the season coming up on Thursday at Benton. How is the team as a dual unit sort of looking right now as far as health, availability? Do you have a lot of open spots, or where do you kind of land as a dual group?
I think we're starting to manufacture some wins, the way we were in years past. This year so far, I think we've won the ones that we were supposed to, and maybe dropped ones that were going to be close. You look at the Grinnell duel, and we kind of put it to them there, and I thought it was going to be a close duel, but we had some big wins up and down the lineup with Clayton Babinette and Cyrus Mathis both had big wins against Grinnell, and we took care of work there. So we looked really good there. And then I mentioned earlier about the North Polk win, and that goes back to Drayton White scoring 4 or 5 takedowns in the second and third period to come back and get a win. And then Marcus Bear avenging a loss he had last year earlier in the season. And then, again, Clayton Babinette, it comes down to him at 132 pounds, and he's wrestling a kid who's 17-2, and the duel's on the line, and he wins 8-4. So I think we're starting to manufacture some duels, and we're putting our our best lineup on the mat each time, whether it be with the guy out or not. We're kind of just focusing on the guys we've got that are healthy and moving forward.
Can you kind of set up one last thing to set up the postseason? Where are you guys headed for the conference meet? Where is districts this year? And sort of what are you telling your guys at this stage as they're preparing for those postseason run?
So we've got the WAMAC Conference Tournament on Saturday, and that's the toughest 2A conference in the state, pretty much hands down. That's at Williamsburg. We don't put a ton of stock in the conference tournament. Of course, you want to place in the top third or the top half or whatever you've been doing the last few years, and you want as many all-conference performers as you can, conference champs, and they don't give away WAMAC conference titles.
Yeah, right.
We had 2 champs last year, but our biggest goals are down the road at districts. So we kind of use the conference tournament. Of course, we want to compete well, like I said, but it kind of exposes us once in a while, and we can use that as a measuring stick to say, hey, we got to work on this with this athlete, or maybe we got to push this athlete a little harder or pull back a little bit. So we want to perform well at conference, and we're working hard towards that, but that's just a short-term goal. Our big goals are a couple weeks down the road at the district tournament, which is back at Williamsburg.
Nice. All right. Well, best of luck to you and the Trojans. We'll be cheering for you on Thursday.
All right, thank you.
Close your eyes. Is it just you who's too proud to let go? All your enemies you keep trying to hide, they don't exist outside of your mind.
All right, welcome back live in from Benton Community High School. And we just had a loss by Eli Cruikshank in his first, hold on here. Nope, he got a win. So congrats to Eli Cruikshank on the JV side, getting a win there in his first match of the night. And we have another South Tama wrestler up on the JV side. Kyle Heck wrestling Brennan Roberts of Benton Community.
Tipton, Mason Spear, Belle Plaine. Varsity 157, your next match on mat number 2.
All right, so we're having some troubles with our scoreboard plug-in here, but still scoreless here between Roberts and Heck, JV side. Round 1 action. A couple of interesting notes for tonight on the varsity end. South Tama is going to be looking at 2, so they're going to be facing Belle Plaine and Tipton this evening. Both of those teams are open at 215 and 285. So South Tama's Gavin Bridgewater and Kyan McBride, unless something changes and one of these teams bumps around, they've only got, so Belle Plaine doesn't even have a 190 wrestler. They end at 175. So unless they decide to shift one of their lighter weight kids up, it looks that Bridgewater and McBride will not be wrestling this evening, as the Trojan varsity team is not competing against Benton, who does have a full roster. There's a takedown by Roberts, the tail end of the first period there against Kyle Heck. Heck will go into round number 2, trailing by a couple of points.
Varsity match. Mat number 2, 157 pounds for Belle Plaine, Andrew Argo. For Tipton, Aiden Graves.
A reminder, we do have some pre-recorded interviews that we're going to show throughout this first round here this evening, leading up to the 2 varsity duels that the South Tama varsity team's going to wrestle. And so we'll get to our next one here in a couple of moments. Stay tuned for that. Heck trailing now 6-0 after a couple of takedowns and some back points just awarded to Roberts. So Heck kind of in a bad spot here, but plenty of time to kind of fight back out of it. Into the second period, Heck trailing 9-0. After those back points were awarded, so Roberts doing a good job here. Working on top. South Tama is also open at 106 tonight, so the Trojans will not wrestle at 106, and it looks like they will see forfeit victories. There's a loss by fall to Brendan Roberts.
JV, mat number 1, Caden Wright, Benton Community.
Cody Blocker up next on the JV side.
On deck, mat number 1, Sage Edberg, Benton Community. Alejandro Valdez, South Tama, and in the hole, mat number 1, Trey Sharp, Benton Community. Wright and Hill, South Tama.
At the conclusion of this blocker match here on the JV side, he's wrestling against Caden Wright of Benton Community. We'll jump into our interview with South Tama's Clayton Babinet and Cyrus Mathis. So stay tuned for that here in a couple moments. Blocker almost scoring the takedown there, but Wright kind of got his shoulders around and stood him up, and he turns that into a takedown himself with the lift. And Wright from Benton out 2-0 against Cody Blocker. This is JV action in round 1. South Tama's varsity team not scheduled to wrestle until round 2. So we're anticipating that to start around 7:15, somewhere in there. Caden Wright leading 2-0 against South Tama's Cody Blocker. Late first period, Blocker with the escape. Back to neutral they go. Going for the takedown. Good defense by Wright. End of the first period. Cody Blocker trailing 1-2 against Kalen Wright of Benton Community. Blocker to go down, start the second period. Attack there by Blocker. Gets the takedown, working on back points now. Trying to close this thing out with a pin. And he's got it. Cody Blocker wins by fall over Kalen Wright after a second period takedown. And he gets a win in his first JV match tonight. All right, here's our interview with South Tama's Cyrus Mathis and Clayton Babinet. We'll be right back after this. Thanks for being with us here on Trojan Country. Welcome to Trojan Country. We're talking to a couple of our STC boys wrestlers here. I've got Cyrus Mathis, Clayton Babinet. Guys, you're just getting done with practice. How you feeling tonight?
Honestly, I'm feeling great. Practiced with some of the hardest kids in the room. Pushed me. That's all I can really ask for.
I'm feeling good. Had a good practice. I got pushed pretty hard by my coaches and my practice partners.
What sort of things are you working on at this stage of the season as you're getting close to postseason time?
Just fine-tuning and sharpening up and just make sure we're ready when we're supposed to be ready.
Yep.
Yeah, like Cyrus said, just fine-tune our moves, sticking to our best. I mean, practice makes perfect, so.
Yep. Do you guys have a normal partner that you work with when you practice that are kind of close to your weight? And if you do, who are they and what's it like working with that person over the course of the season? What are they like?
I usually train with Cale Graff. Done it since youth. He's just been my go-to partner. Just bonding. We've been together, grew up together. So.
What does he add from a technical standpoint? How do you guys kind of complement each other or compete against each other when you're working?
I mean, when we go live, we push ourselves. Getting a lot of scrambles, fight through just odd positions, get out.
Yep.
And that's really it.
Cyrus, how about you?
My main partner is Marcus Bear. He helps me a lot with his strength. So I have going with someone that's a 75-pounder. It's helping me with the guys that are 65, and I'm helping him with his speed and stuff.
Yep. What are some of the highlights that you can remember from this season so far? We've been at it for a couple of months already. What are some of the high points that you can remember thinking back over the course of the season?
This season, just a lot of improvement over the last 2 years. I beat my first ranked kid. Feeling good about that.
Nice.
My goal is just to keep moving forward, stick with my winning record, and try making it to state.
Nice. Cyrus, what about you?
Winning my first tournament, the Pella tournament. Just going out there and competing against some tougher kids and coming out on top.
What has been, thinking again back through the season, what's been some of the more challenging parts of the season this far?
Just being ready to compete when you're supposed to be ready to compete, making weight. Just got to be ready, be on top of it.
Yeah.
My struggle is just moving up in weight classes. I've been 3 different weight classes throughout my 3 years of wrestling.
Yeah.
Lower weights, they're more speed, technique. When you get up to these mid weights, I mean, they got muscle behind them and speed and everything. So it's a whole different ball game wrestling with these 32 pounders.
Do you feel comfortable at the weight that you're at now? Does it feel like you're kind of settled at that spot, or how are you kind of been at this weight so far?
I say I'm doing pretty good. I've improved a lot. I'm beating a lot of tougher guys I probably went to beat last year, my freshman year. So, and I'm competing a lot longer, the 6-minute periods. I've beat a couple really good kids, and such as that North Polk kid that they bumped up on Saturday. So.
Yeah, nice. Do either of you have any favorite wrestling moves or things that you like to go to when you're on the mat?
Not really. Just kind of go with the flow, whatever's there.
Yeah.
Because some kids are, I mean, they're tougher, so you can't get some of the moves.
Yeah.
So you just kind of got to go with what you got.
Do what you can. Yeah. How about you? Anything that comes to mind?
Lat drop. I like my lat drop, but
Yeah.
I can't really throw it that much because it's bad.
All
I'm
right.
not that good at it, to be honest.
How have you worked on your wrestling game this season? Thinking about where you were last year, how has your wrestling technique evolved over the last year or so?
I don't know, just putting in more time, coming in for the middle schoolers and going in for the girls. Just more time in the wrestling room. And last year, or 2 years ago, I had Logan Arp. He was helped me in the beginning season, so that really helped me improve throughout these 3 years.
All right.
I feel like just working with the better kids in the room, the state qualifiers, place winners, and working with the coaches as much as possible, like Dyke and Travis. They both can help us get where we need to be.
What's the mindset going into the postseason? Both of you looking towards the state tournament, I'm sure. What's going through your mind, and what are you kind of telling yourself at this stage?
You just got to compete like everybody's the same level. I mean, you can't underestimate nobody because once you're in districts, it's districts. Like a blink of an eye, you could be on your back and getting pinned. So
Yep.
you got to be ready to compete. But
Clayton,
my goal is to be at a state tournament this year.
Nice. Well, good luck. Clayton, how about you?
My goal is just do as best I can. I mean, been doing it for 3 years. I've never been to the varsity Walmack or district, so my goal is just to go out there and give it my all. No matter the outcome, I'm proud of myself.
All right. Well, best of luck to you guys. We'll be rooting for you.
Thank you.
Conclusion of our JV.
All right, we're back into some JV action here. Kyle Youngbear just getting a takedown against Benton's Brecken Rozick.
Landon Hollow receives a forfeit.
20 seconds left in the the first period.
We have
JV
double
action
forfeits at
here.
215 and 285. 106-pounders, please report.
About halfway through the varsity duel between Belle Plaine and Tipton. And there's a big takedown by Rozick to end the first period. And he'll jump out to a 3-2 lead against South Tama's Kyle Youngbear. JV action here. South Tama varsity to start in round 2 against Belle Plaine.
Now wrestling at 106 pounds for Belle Plaine, Bradley Lewis. For Tipton, Keaton Schultz.
An escape by Youngbear early in the second period ties it up at 3. Both wrestlers trying to feel out the timing for each other. Haven't seen a lot of shooting here. And the one big takedown by Rozick. Youngbear just trying to keep the pressure, got the legs moving forward. Underhook on the left side. And Youngbear lets it go. 56 seconds left, second period action. Kyle Youngbear tied up with Brecken Rozick of Benton Community. Results so far: Eli Cruikshank took a win by fall over Jonah Bergert. Kyle Heck lost by tech fall to Brendan Roberts. Cody Blocker won by fall over Caden Wright. And Alejandro Valdez won over Sage Edberg by fall. So that brings us up to where we are now here with Youngbear and Rozick.
Number 2 for Belle Plaine, Hunter Henry.
Pretty quiet
For Tipton, Michael
second period.
Puffer.
This is going to kind of end. 4 seconds to go. We kind of stay in neutral the whole time, but well, it was Youngbear getting the quick escape, and then it really did not progress from there. So Rozick will start down and try and get the escape and then go to work. We'll see how Youngbear works on top here. Push to the outside. No escape awarded, so they'll go back to center. And that's just going to be a calculation for Youngbear here as how long do you want to work on this defense against the escape. And there is Rozick getting the escape. And now Youngbear to go to work, try to find the takedown. He's yet to get one since early in the first period. And he'll need to find some points here, trailing by 1. Rozick trying another throw. Youngbear kind of pushes back the other way. He's trying to work the top half. Cheerleaders go scattering. 57 seconds left. Close JV match here. Probably the most competitive one we've seen here so far in the first 5 of this round 1. At the conclusion of this match, we will air our interview with Jason Arp, South Tama's girls co-head coach. 33 seconds left. Kyle Youngbear still trailing by 1 against Brecken Rozick. Rozick, the escape early in this third period. And Young Bear finally shoots the single leg. But good defense there by Rozic. He pushes him out of bounds. Nope, not out of bounds. Another shot that is just a little forced. 6 seconds to go. And it looks like the final score will be 4-3. Brecken Rozic defeating Kyle Youngbear of South Tama on the JV side by decision.
Final JV match for round number 1. For Benton Community, AJ Wilson-Miles. For South Tama, Brandon Romo.
It's time for another Coach's Corner here on Trojan Country. We're talking girls wrestling with one of our girls' head coaches, Jason Arp, tonight. Jason, how you doing after a busy night of practice?
I'm doing good, thank you. Doing well.
How's the team looking at this stage of the season? We're kind of getting right to postseason time. What are your thoughts, you and Coach Ellsbury? How have you assessed the season thus far?
The girls have competed well. We just got off Walmart Conference last Friday night. We finished 6th down there. We wrestled pretty good there, but we're a young team. You know, we got a lot of freshmen, sophomores, and the Walmart's one of the toughest conferences I feel in the state.
Yeah.
And but they competed hard, and we finished strong. You know, and then this week we're getting ready for regionals, of course, on Friday. So we're practicing hard here the first 3 nights of the week, and you know, we'll taper off come Thursday night a little bit, but we're getting ready.
Yeah. What are some of the key things that you're telling the kids at this stage, practice-wise, when you're working with them in the room?
Well, the key is this week, leading up into regionals, they gotta wrestle the full period, the full match, however long it goes. If it goes the full 6 minutes, they gotta wrestle clear to the last second.
Yeah.
You know, because you know when it comes down to trying to qualify for state tournament, you know you're gonna get a last second move that they're gonna be trying. If they're ahead, if they're behind, they gotta wrestle that complete match all the way through. So.
Looking at your 3 returning state qualifiers, you kind of got the big group of freshmen and the 3 kids that kind of come up with a lot of experience. How have those 3 girls evolved over this last season? What are some of the improvements that the 2 Ellsburys and Abigail have made in their game this season, would you say?
They've all 3 improved a lot. You know, Abigail struggled a little bit last year on the bottom, but she's really come on here the last few weeks, working hard to get out on the bottom. Like I've always told all the girls, you can't get scored on if you're not on the bottom. Yeah. So we got to get up and away so we can get back to our feet. She's really improved there. Autumn's really come into her own. You know, she's not really. She's looking to get out of Maylee's shadow, sure, you know, and create her own path. And she's wrestling really good right now. She dominated at the Walmart Conference tournament, pinned her way all the way through into the finals, and then dominated a girl that she wrestled really close with in an earlier match this season. And of course, Maylee's, you know, dealing with a little bit of a knee injury, so she's wrestling really good right now. She pinned her way all the way through the Walmart Conference tournament, and she had some real tough matches, but she's looking strong. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm really excited about those 3 leading into regionals.
Yeah. For the younger kids that are just getting started in their career, how have some of those girls gotten better over the season? You know, I kind of look at the stat list for the team. There's some freshmen that have a good chunk of wins on your group this year.
Yep.
How have they sort of improved? Have there been any surprises from any of those kids? Anything like that?
Well, I think Brooklyn Mitchell, you know, being a freshman coming in from middle school, just started in middle school, but she's, I think, 28, 29 wins right now on the season, so she's wrestling really good. She's aggressive. She's a scrapper. She's going to fight you all the way through the match, and she's really come on here lately. Paisley Bros, another one that's a freshman, only wrestled in middle school, but she's coming on lately really well. Olivia Smith, our 100-pounder,
right.
You know, she only weighs 92, 93 pounds, but she's really come on strong, and I'm looking for one of those 3 maybe to sneak through is what I'm looking for. You know, 1 or 2, I'll take them all.
Right.
You know, of course, but I don't want to be greedy, but I'll take all 13 if I can get them through.
Yeah.
So.
How has the group gelled this year? Kind of going, you know, now we're kind of at the back end of the season. You got girls from 3 different schools having to come together, compete together as a team. How have they kind of managed that challenge this year?
I'm actually really happy with the way that they've managed. You know, I know the girls coming in from East Marshall were maybe a little bit, you know, coming out of your element, going to another school, not really knowing a lot of the girls, but the South Tama girls have really brought them in, welcomed them as part of the team. They've competed hard. You know, I've got 2 of the East Marshall girls on my varsity squad, Ava Hendricks and Ava Perkins, and they've both wrestled really well. And I'm really proud of how they've mended as a team and combined, and they're tough. I mean, we're a tough team, and even though we're young, we're tough. We're tough.
Looking ahead to Super Regionals State, you guys have been there. You've taken the multiple kids to state, to a state championship. What's the experience telling you as you get a team ready this year? Was there anything you kind of learned from that last year experience that you bring into this year? What's that look like?
Well, being a long season, you just got to take one match at a time. You can't look ahead. You can't look behind. You know, you got to learn something from every match. Whether it's a win or a loss, you got to learn something from every match. And I think the girls have really done that. You know, they've come off and some of them have said, yeah, I know what I did. And I'm, well, that's good. And then I don't have to tell you what you did. And then we come back into practice and we work on that. And, you know, I ask them every night before we start practice, we kind of sit down and say, okay, what do you guys need to work on? And one of them may pipe up, I want to get better on my feet. And that's good where they can bring that forward to the coaches and say, okay, this is what I need to work on. And then we work on that individually. We stay after practice tonight, a couple of them, and we work on stuff individually. I'm really just kind of, it's a long season. You know, when you have a young team that's just coming from middle school, they're not used to being in a 3-month grind of a season. We kind of hit a lull there, I would say about 3 weeks back. You know, I could tell some of the girls were maybe ready to mail it in a little bit, but then it's like, okay, now we need to re-energize. We're into the postseason. Everything's on you. Whatever you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. And I'm really impressed the last couple weeks.
Well, great.
Practice.
Well, we'll be rooting for you at regionals, and hope to catch up with you again soon, and big batch of state qualifiers.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. All right, we're talking to a couple of our girls wrestlers here on Trojan Country this evening. We've got Paisley Bro, Olivia Smith. Girls, how are you doing tonight?
Good. Good, thanks.
Busy night of practice here on a Tuesday. How has the practice process been so far as you get ready for the postseason? What are you guys working on in practice right now?
Just like getting our moves better, like the ones that you didn't know how to do, just like perfecting them and stuff.
Yeah.
Getting more in depth, getting more set in and ready to go.
All right. Do you guys normally have a partner on the team that you work with in practice that you kind of spar with? If you do, tell us about who that partner is and how they kind of help you get better, what it's like wrestling with that person.
Yeah, when we go live, I go with Ava Hendricks a lot because she pushes me, and we're both kind of equal, like on our feet and on top and bottom, so we push each other a lot. I've been going with Brooklyn Mitchell all season, and she's really good, and she's got a little more experience than me, so she pushes me a lot. She's really aggressive, and she's just a good partner.
Yeah. So you guys both freshmen this year. How has that jump from the middle school level to the high school level been for you? Have there been any surprises in that transition? What's this season kind of been like making that move?
It's definitely like a lot more difficult because the girls are able to go longer with you and stuff. Like last year you could pin a couple people real fast, and this year it's like you go from 5 to 6 minutes too. So that was a big difference.
Yeah.
This year's definitely got a big difference. We push each other harder in practice. We have higher goals that we want to meet, and last year it was just a simple year for us, but it was also our first year.
Yeah.
And it was one of the beginnings of the girls wrestling.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
it was definitely different.
Thinking through this season, you guys have been at it for a couple of months already now. What are some of the highlights or memories, favorite memories that come up when you think about what you've been through so far in this first high school season?
I would have to say like my parents being in my there for me on the side so I can go talk to them after, and then having Jason and Logan in my corner since they're family and stuff. Just them being there for me and stuff.
Nice.
I really enjoy the coaches. The
Yeah.
coaching's great. They're all supportive. They all get to know you. It's not like you come in and they just push you, but they know you. They know what you like. They know what you don't like. And they see that, and they know what you want, and they see how hard you work, and they congratulate you for it, and they show you that it's good and good effort.
Yeah,
Shows
nice.
you.
What have been some of the more challenging parts of the season or of just wrestling at the high school level in general?
For me, it's not being on weight, being real underweight.
Yeah.
So the girls that I'm wrestling are a lot bigger. And then, wrestling, people have been wrestling a lot longer than you and stuff. So I
Challenges
agree
for you.
with Livia. Wrestling with older people is a lot harder with more experience. But I think it's good for you, and it pushes you, and it teaches you what you need to do better. And, yeah.
How has been the process of getting to know and working with girls from other schools this year? You guys have 3 different schools that come together into South Tama to make up the team. What's that been like from your perspective?
It's been nice to get to know, new people and stuff. Get some new people coming through here. And it makes our team bigger and stuff. So I love it when we have new schools come in. I like talking to new people. I'm a very talkative person.
Good.
I'll talk to anybody that talks to me, and it's fun to see other schools come and support us. Like our home meet, we had GMG girls there. We had GMG boys there. They came and they supported us.
That's great.
And East Marshall girls will come support us. Just come watch. Same with teachers and stuff. They'll all come.
That's cool. That's great. What have you worked on the most, kind of thinking about your wrestling game individually? How do you feel like, is there any area you've improved upon this year from where you were last year, or any facets of your game that you've really been working on this year?
I definitely feel a lot more comfortable on my feet this year. I haven't been getting taken down as much as I would have last year. And then not getting turned on bottom and being able to get out and stuff. This year, I've really been doing well about being responsible and being smart with my decisions on the mat. And it's always good to be smart, and I'm glad I figured it out.
Yeah. All right, one more question. Thinking about goals as we go to regional, state, hopefully in another week. What are some of your goals? What are the things you're telling yourself at this stage of the season? What are you working on at this point?
For regionals, making the top 4 to go to state and stuff. And there's some girls there that have beat me before. So to try to beat them and make it to state and stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely to get top 4, but as long as I don't get pinned that day, I'm going to be all right.
All right.
And going against girls I've never gone against, it'll be a good open experience for me, but also going against girls that have already beaten me that I'd like to see happen again.
Yeah. All right, girls, thank you very much. Best of luck at the regional tournament.
Thank
Thank you.
Welcome back in live from Benton Community High School. I'm Darvin Graham here with you on Trojan Country. We're getting ready for varsity action. We're getting to the tail end of this round one duel between Tipton and Belle Plaine. We're at our last duel right here. So as soon as this one gets done, that will wrap up round one. And South Tama will move on to wrestle Belle Plaine in round two. Kind of rounding up South Tama's JV action against Benton Community. In no particular order, Raiden Hill got a win by fall over Trey Sharp of Benton Community. Eli Crookshank got a win by fall over Jonah Bergert of Benton. Benton's Brennan Roberts defeated Kyle Heck by tech fall. Cody Blocker got a win by fall against Caden Wright. Alejandro Valdez got a win over Sage Edberg by fall. Brecken Rozick in a tough match with Kyle Youngbear came out on top with a 4-3 decision over South Tama's Kyle Youngbear, and South Tama's Brandon Romo took a loss by fall to A.J. Wilson Miles of Benton Community. So that was all of the South Tama JV matches that took place earlier here at Benton. More JV matches, I think we'll probably start with JV and then move on to varsity after that. So a little bit yet to go here. We're in our last bout of the Tipton-Belle Plaine duel. Kind of looking over and running through some of those results if I can. Let's see here. All right, Tipton's Aiden Graves got a win 9-4 against Andrew Argo. Tipton's Kendrick Heffernan got a win by forfeit at 165. At 175, Josh Stepper defeated Belle Plaine's Gabriel Kaplan by fall. At 190, Belle Plaine was open, and Landon Hollab took a forfeit win for Tipton. Both teams were open at 215 and 285. So at 106, Tipton's Keaton Schultz defeated Bradley Lewis of Belle Plaine by fall. Belle Plaine's Hunter Henry got a win by fall over Michael Puffer of Tipton at 113. And then at 120, Tipton's Jason Johnson defeated Jackson Weeda by fall. At 126, Gavin Sorgenfrey of Tipton defeated Hayden Newhouse of Belle Plaine by fall. At 132, Gavin Roth of Tipton defeated Peyton Weeda by a 5-1 decision. At 138, Belle Plaine's Aiden Tim got a win over Max Lashmitt of Tipton by fall. At 144, William Sancott of Belle Plaine got a win against Everett Geese of Tipton by fall. And that takes us up to 150 here in our final bout. Wade Sancott taking on Belle Plaine taking on Logan Lanning of Tipton. So that was round one. South Tama going to face both of those teams later here this evening. We were anticipated to start round two at 7 o'clock, so we are running, I would say, maybe 10-15 minutes behind schedule tonight. Round three should probably start around 8:15 or so, and it should probably run, well, we got to wait for both teams to get done. So Belle Plaine and Benton and Tipton should wrestle a full duel, so that should take a little longer than South Tama's duel, but we'll see. You never know. Ranked wrestlers coming into this matchup, and a couple others of note that were state qualifiers. In no particular order, South Tama's Eli Brannon is not active tonight, but he is still in the IA Wrestle rankings. He comes in at 11th as a senior. He's been undefeated, though he's been in and out of the lineup. Undefeated since the Independence Cliff Keene Invitational early in the season. Took some losses there, but since then, he's gotten some wins. Most recently, he defeated Kyler Provin of Williamsburg, but has not taken the mat since then. So yet to see if we'll see Brannon. I don't see him with the team this evening, so although I could be missing him somewhere. And then also at 120, Tipton has Jason Johnson. He is not currently ranked, but he was a state qualifier for the Tigers last year. So he's kind of one to watch over there at 120. At 126, South Tama has Amari Chavez, their multi-time state place winner. He comes in ranked 6th by IA Wrestle and is about as tough as they come at 126. And Chavez back in the lineup, had some injury issues going on kind of middle of the season. I believe he is back in action, so it looks like
7:15, round number 2.
All right, we're going to have a break until 7:15, and that's when round one will start. So about 5-8 minutes, and we'll be underway with round number 2. Continuing on the kind of wrestlers to watch in this matchup tonight, at 138, South Tama's Mikhail Baer comes in ranked 7th by IA Wrestle. He was a state qualifier last year. Belle Plaine, meanwhile, has a state qualifier in Aiden Tim. He is not currently ranked in the 1A rankings, but is kind of one to watch as a sophomore over there in Belle Plaine. He qualified for the state tournament last year in 1A. At 157, Tipton has a ranked wrestler, Aiden Graves, ranked 12th by IA Wrestle. And then South Tama's Gavin Bridgewater, ranked 2nd. Two-time state place winner, a runner-up 2 years ago. And Bridgewater rounding into form here following a shoulder injury. We'll see how, well, actually, we're probably not going to see how he looks tonight, as both Belle Plaine and Tipton are open at that 215 weight. So McBride and Bridgewater likely to be inactive for STC this evening. And that's kind of tough that, you know, the team will go to their conference wrestling meet at Williamsburg on Saturday. And that'll be a full, you know, that's about as challenging as a tournament, as a conference tournament as you're going to find in Class 2A. And so they'll get plenty of good competition there. But then a week off and kind of getting tuned up for districts as the reformatting of the postseason happened last year. The State Association getting rid of the sectional tournament, kind of going to a larger district event and bringing more qualifiers into the state meet. But it does give the team some kind of time to get healthy, have a week of practice leading up to district time in early February. Thanks again to our sponsors. They include Berkwood Village of Tama, Toledo, Salt Creek Wind, Mercy Care Tama, Iowa Premium, State Bank of Toledo, Hardin's, S&S Car Wash, Cruzy Phillips Funeral Home, Appraisal and Realty Services, Robach Lumber, Stein Robach Floor Coverings, Medicap Pharmacy, Mark West and Hoyer Law Office, Assured Partners Insurance, Sharn Webbers, and TFD Photo and Film. We will be live tomorrow night from the Roundhouse as it is throwback night for the STC Trojans. It's going to be a fun night of activities over at STC High. Both girls and boys varsity teams in action against Vinton Shellsburg. And it's a really compelling matchup here as South Tama's girls teams are coming off of a really close game against Grinnell, where they took the Tigers to overtime, ended up coming out on the bottom end of that matchup. But compared to where South Tama has competed in the WAMAC, a very good showing against a Grinnell team that is usually quite dominant against South Tama in previous years. So well, you don't want to say congrats on a loss, but a silver lining to be proud of nonetheless. And then the boys team coming in with 3 wins in the WAMAC Conference this year, much improved over the last few seasons. And they have already defeated Vinton Shellsburg once this season in Vinton in late December, right before the teams went to holiday break. So they're looking for a sweep against the Vikings, and it'll be interesting to see how that kind of comes together. So they're getting ready for the run out here of the Benton Bobcats, because they're going to have their first duel of the night. They'll be wrestling Tipton. And Thunderstruck is as loud as I've ever heard it. Just at the top. We are at the top of the threshold for these speakers here. We're maxed out. So pumped. I'm interested to see where they're going to come out here in this song. They should come out now, but they're not coming out now. They kind of are, well, they'll come out after the end of the chorus here. And now they go. There come the Bobcats, led by Brennan Blagan. With the flag there. We'll be right back after this from a word from our sponsors. Thanks for being with us.
Spread
matches. Mat number 1, we have 2 JV matches on mat number 2. Mat number 1, we have Caden Schultz, Tipton, Tanner Miller, Benton Community, Brody Johnson, Tipton, Brennan Roberts, Benton Community, and in the hole, Braden Shulista, Tipton, Braden Reynolds, Benton Community. Mat number 2, Parker Weeda, Belle Plaine, Cody Blocker, South Tama, Mason Spear, Belle Plaine, Alejandro Valdez, South Tama.
Okay, first is JV action. Cody Blocker up first for South Tama on the JV mat. We got 2 JV bouts coming, and then South Tama's varsity duel will start at 160.
Mat number 1, JV, Brody Johnson, Tipton, Brennan Roberts, Benton Community. In the hole, mat number 1, Braden Shalista, Tipton, Braden Reynolds, Benton Community. And in the hole, Emmett Steinman, Tipton, Brecken Rosick, Benton Community.
Mid-first period action here. Cody Blocker taking on Parker Weeda of Belle Plaine. Blocker got a win by fall in his first JV bout of the night. Looking for another one here against Weeda from Belle Plaine. His shot right to the midsection. Lift and a takedown for 2. Blocker up by a pair. .39 seconds left in the first period. Blocker doing a good job on top here, just trying to get Weeda turned. And 2 near fall points awarded on that exchange, giving Blocker a 4-0 lead going into the second period. Minute and a half left here. Throw attempt by Blocker is defended by Weeda, and Weeda's going to score 2. Blocker with a single leg, and he'll score a takedown, pushing the lead back to 4, 6-2 the score now. Minute left on the clock. This is JV action on our first duel of the night. We'll have one more JV bout, and then we'll be into varsity wrestling here in a moment. South Tama will wrestle Tipton in round 3. The Trojans will not wrestle Benton Community tonight here. 50 seconds to go. An escape by Ouida makes it 6-3. Good defense there by Blocker. He'll score the takedown and the pin. Kind of knew he had the strength advantage against Ouida there, feeling him out through the first round and a half. Went for the throw and got it. Finished it off for 2. Waiting for our next JV bout to get set up here, and they're ready to take the mat.
JV mat number 2, Mason Spear, Belle Plaine, Alejandro Valdez, South Tama. Varsity 165-pounders.
It's going to be Alejandro Valdez taking on Mason Spear of Belle Plaine. Valdez gives up an early takedown. He got a win in his first JV match today. And he'll trail 2-0 as the wrestlers go out of bounds. Minute and a half to go in the first period.
Wrestling mat number 1, Braden Shalista, Tipton, Braden Reynolds, Benton Community. In the hole, mat number 1, Emmett Steinman, Tipton, Brecken Rosick, Benton Community. And in the hole, Austin Ellerhoff, Tipton, Kason Lewis, Benton Community. Game of Belle Plaine 165 varsity wrestlers, please report. Receiving a forfeit for the Trojans, Cyrus Mathis.
Cyrus Mathis up first at 165, and he will take a win by forfeit. As the Plainsmen are open, and that gives South Tama an early 6-0 lead.
Mat number 2, 175 pounds, for Belle Plaine, Gabe Kaplan. For South Tama, Marcus Bear.
Up now for South Tama, Marcus Bear. at 175. Quick takedown by Bear puts him up 2-0. Minute to go here in the first period, 175. South Tama's Marcus Bear in action here. And then from there on, Belle Plaine is open at 190, 215, and 285. So we're going to jump after this bout right to 106. South Tama is open at 106, so we're actually jumping to 113. So this could be a short round 2. Bear trying the throw. Not much off of that exchange here. Still 2-0 lead. Marcus Bear of South Tama leading Gabe Kaplan of Belle Plaine. And the win by fall. South Tama's Marcus Bear getting a second period pin against Gabe Kaplan. Bringing South Tama's team score to 12.
At 190 pounds, Drew Mully, South Tama, receives a forfeit.
And so we have a forfeit for Drew Mellies at 190.
At 215 pounds, Gavin Bridgewater, South Tama, receives
Bridgewater
a forfeit.
receives a forfeit at 215. We'll add the team points as soon as we get done with these forfeits here. Kyan McBride next.
At 285 pounds, South Tama's Kian McBride receives a forfeit.
At 106 for Belle Plaine, Bradley Lewis will come and accept the forfeit for the Plains pin. And that takes our team score to 30-6 in favor of South Tama. Next up for the Trojans, Cale Graff at 113, taking on Hunter Henry. Cale Graff, a junior for the Trojans, will be graduating early, so this is going to be his final season with South Tama. He gets a quick takedown against Henry to start. 2-0 the lead. And Graff will go to work trying to get a turn here against Hunter Henry in the first period. Plenty of time, minute 17 on the clock. First period action.
Number 1, JV for Tipton, Emmett Steinman, and for your Bobcats, Bricken Rosen.
There might be some shoulder points coming, yep. Near fall points will be coming for Graff. Henry doing a good job kind of keeping the hips at an angle. 43 seconds left to go, but Graff finishes off Hunter Henry from Belle Plaine with a pin in the first period.
Mat number 2, 120 pounds for Belle Plaine, Jackson Wida. And for the Trojans, Romero Sackwick.
All right, up next at 120, South Tama has Ramiro Sackwick taking on Jackson Wida. Sackwick has been splitting time with Eli Brandon here at the 120-pound class. And has done a nice job as a younger wrestler, kind of getting his feet wet here. He's been aggressive the times that I've seen him wrestle this season, giving up height and length to many of his opponents, but showing no signs of timidness against Wida here. Good pace, good energy. Still scoreless, minute to go. South Tama, the beneficiary of four open weights that have been forfeits for South Tama. There's a takedown by Sackwick. .30 seconds left to go here. Sackwick trying to get the shoulder turn, goes back to the backside. Go out of bounds. 8 seconds left in the first period. And whistle sounds at the end of the first period. Sackwick leading by 2 after a mid-period takedown. Wida will start down to start the second period. He's got the size advantage over Sackwick. We'll see if he can get the escape. Nice return there by Ramiro. One-point escape for Wida. Close match here, but it has felt like it's been Sackwick in the driver's seat through this whole one. Another takedown by Sakic. Weeda trying to roll through, but Sakic settles it down. Back points coming here. Five seconds left in the second period. Ramiro Sakic of South Tama wrestling at 120 for the Trojans. We started at 160 in this duel. 3 near fall points awarded at the end of the second period.
Benton Community.
Another takedown for Sakic. Minute and a half left in the third. And Weeda keeps kind of trying for that reversal. And Sakic's done a good job controlling the hips and just not letting the length be enough to get him turned over. 9-1 the lead after that takedown a moment ago. Seconds left on the third period clock. Ramiro Sakic been in control here in this one against Jackson Weeda of Belle Plaine. Sakic getting back points at the tail end of this third. Can he get the pin? And he does not get the pin, but the near fall points will give him the major decision, 12-1 after that one. (40-6) the team score against Belle Plaine here in round 2.
Number 2.
Next up for South Tama,
For Belle Plaine, Hayden
Amari
Newhouse.
Chavez
For South Tama, Amari Chavez.
will take on Hayden Newhouse. Quick takedown by Chavez to get things started. Chavez coming in ranked 6th in IA Wrestle rankings that just came out yesterday. Looking to make his third trip to the state tournament this year.
For round number 2, for Tipton, David Mackey. For Benton Community, Trey Sharp.
Chavez working on the turn. Near fall points tallying up as he has Newhouse on one shoulder. Newhouse gets to a front side. And 2 near fall will be awarded. 22 seconds left in the first period. Amari Chavez in control here so far. And the end of the first period sees a 4-0 lead for Amari Chavez of South Tama. Chavez defers. Newhouse looking to his coach, and he'll start neutral. Chavez quickly breaking down Newhouse again. Wasn't really one clear shot. It was just kind of the single leg right into the midsection, and Newhouse just kind of folded together. 6-0. Midway into the second period now. And Chavez just trying to work on top pressure here. Looks like he's trying to put together a few different moves and sequences. More near fall points coming, but the pin will finish things off. Amari Chavez defeating Belle Plaine's Hayden Newhouse by fall in the second period. His first win of the night.
Match number 2, 132 pounds for Belle Plaine, Peyton Weeda. For South Tama, Clayton Bebenet.
Next up for the Trojans, Clayton Babinet at 132. He was wrestling Peyton Weeda, quick takedown there. Babinet had a really nice outing at the East Marshall duels. Got his team a clutch win as they were tied up with North Polk coming into their final bout. Got a win against a kid with a winning record, and he makes quick work of Peyton Weeda with a takedown and a pin. As soon as we get the name typed in, Babinet says that'll do it. Back to the bench after the win. That brings up Mikhail Bear, South Tama's senior co-captain.
Aiden Tim. For South Tama, Mikhail Bear.
It's kind of the matchup I had circled for tonight. Aiden Tim, a returning, or a state qualifier from last year, as was Mikhail Bear.
At number 1, 165 pounds. For Tipton, Kendrick Pepperman, and for your Bobcats, Brendan Hines.
Nice ankle pick there by Bear. Tim giving up a little, or Tim is longer than Bear. Bear maybe just a little broader across the shoulders. And he does score first. A quick takedown as these two tangled pretty good there in the first opening 30 seconds, but Bear settles it down and goes to work on top. cradle situation there for Bear. And we'll see if he can get both shoulders to the mat. That looks pretty good. 40 seconds to go. Plenty of time, but Tim, plenty of length to work with. He's kind of just hanging out here waiting for Bear to adjust himself and see if anything can get put together. 20 seconds now. And Tim back to the front side. 3 near fall points awarded. And that'll do it for the first period. Aiden Tim survives the cradle exchange there with Mikhail Bear of South Tama. We go into period number 2 with Bear leading 5-0. And Tim will start in the down position in period 2. It's going to be an easy escape for the first point there for Aiden Tim. Bear with the lift on the side, keeps the toes in bound, and a takedown. Mikhail Bear showing his strength here against a formidable opponent from Belle Plaine. Toe comes off the mat. They go out of bounds, but 3 near fall points awarded. And all of a sudden, Mikhail Bear leading 10-1. All right, so the official talking to the score table. And now we're ready to go. Minute 24 on the clock, second period. Mikhail Bear, South Tama leading Aiden Tim 10-1. Another throw. Not quite enough time on the shoulder that time. Now the near fall. 57 seconds, plenty of time, and the pin. Great effort there by South Tama's Mikhail Bear.
Mat number 2, 144 pounds. For Belle Plaine, Will Sankett. For South Tama, Drayton White.
Next up for South Tama, senior Drayton White will take on Will Sankett of Belle Plaine. Got walkout music for the Benton Bobcats, it looks like here.
Mat number 1, 175 pounds. For Tipton, Josh Stepper. And for your Bobcats, Mason Mitchell.
White and Sankett still scoreless midway into the first period. Go to the edge of the mat. We'll return back to the center. Almost a takedown there by Sankett, but the whistle sounds just at the right time for Drayton White, and that will get him into the second period, still with a 0-0 score. White to start on top in the second round. And Sankett comes out the hole there and comes down with the reversal. Back out of bounds on the left side. To the center we go. Minute 38 left on the clock. Second period action. Midway into this duel with South Tama and Belle Plaine. A couple more bouts to go. And that will be it. South Tama going to come out on top with all the forfeits. And so far all the bouts have been in favor of the Trojans as well. So we'll see if they can stay perfect. But Drayton White's going to have to come back from a 2-0 deficit here. Minute 10 on the clock now. As White gets to his feet, trying to avoid the throw. Stuffs the head down. Still couldn't get that ankle free, and so will not be awarded the escape. Plenty of time left. He's going to need time to put a takedown together too if he's going to get the one, but and the escape for White there with 37 seconds left to go. Second period action. See if White can get twisted around to the backside. 4 seconds to go. Not going to be there, I think, at the end of the second period. Still a 2-1 lead for Will Sankett. Belle Plaine. White to start down. So an easier spot to be in to get the one to tie it, but White has yet to score a takedown against Sankett. There's the escape. And can he get it coming off of the backside here? Sankett gives it up finally. White the takedown early in the third period, and he'll jump out to a 3-2 lead. Going to be a reversal there, so it stays at 3-2. Now White going to work. Minute 20 left in the third period. Trying to put together the throw on the top side there. Sankett squeezes out. White to readjust, and they go back to the mat. Minute 7 now. .22 seconds. White still in control. And 7 seconds now. Got to be careful. And I think White is going to go on for the decision win here, 3-2. And the Trojans stay perfect in their duel against Belle Plaine. Drayton White comes back from a 2-point deficit and rides out the rest of the clock to win by decision.
At number 2, 150 pounds for Belle Plaine, Wade Sankett. For South Tama, Anthony Thompson.
Next up for the Trojans, Anthony Thompson at 150, taking on Wade Sankett for Belle Plaine. Second to last bout here in this varsity duel. Go to the edge of the mat. No points there for Thompson. And they'll stay neutral in the middle. Thompson, the longer body. Looking a little bigger than Sankett. Standing neck to neck. Sankett the takedown early, jumps out to a 2-0 lead. So a similar situation for Anthony Thompson as was dealt with by Drayton White at his 144-pound bout, as Sankett for Belle Plaine goes out early, getting a takedown in the first period. 33 seconds left.
Except a forfeit.
Out of bounds, the call. Thirteen seconds.
At 285 pounds, Brennan Legan, except a forfeit.
Start of the second period. Thompson working on top, trailing 2-0. .33 seconds. The takedown for Sankett pushes his lead to 4. And he will finish off Anthony Thompson by fall with 30 seconds left to go, and that's the first win of the duel here. Wade Sankett getting on the board for Belle Plaine.
157 pounds. For Belle Plaine, Andrew Argo. For South Tama, Kinzer Jeanette. Benton Community Tipton.
At 157, our final bout of this duel. South Tama's Kinzer Jeanette will wrestle Andrew Argo of Belle Plaine. Argo the takedown. Jumps out to a 2-0 lead. Still 2-0 lead for Argo. Andrew Argo against Kinzer Jeanette of South Tama at 157. Jeanette's kind of been stuck underneath. Argo's done a good job kind of pressuring on top, keeping the hips wide. 13 seconds left to go, first period. Into the first period. And Jeanette still trailing by 2. Jeanette starting on bottom in the second period. Argo's done a nice job there. He finally lets go of the escape. Jeanette on the board. They have to score a takedown here, though. Minute 5 on the clock, second period. Kinzer Jeanette of South Tama shooting the left leg there. Has it nice and tight. Argo just able to reach back down and control the leg, and he'll be able to just step around and score the takedown. do it. Final score 61-18 after Jeanette takes the loss. Against Andrew Argo.
Hayden Moore to the head table.
And that wraps things up here in round number 2 for South Tama. We're going to take a break, hear from some of our sponsors. The Benton and Tipton duel still underway. They're at 106, so things a little ways away from finishing up. And I don't know if they're going to go to 2 mats or how they're going to do it, but Tipton's going to have to wait anyway to be able to get their required time in before they can start against South Tama. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back in a little bit here on Trojan Country. South Tama and Tipton yet to come here live from Benton Community High School.
Now wrestling mat number 1 at 113 pounds for the Tigers, Michael Puffer. And for your Bobcats, Jason Eastman.
Oh, God.
At number 2 at 126 pounds, for Tipton, Evan Sorgenbach. For the Bobcats, Ryan Cole.
If you close your eyes and the oh dear. Don't you love saxophones? Man, they really class up a song. All right, welcome back live from Benton Community. We're kind of in the interim period here between round 2 and round 3. We'll go over the results for the STC Trojans in their first round, second round duel against Belle Plaine. We start things off at 165. Cyrus Mathis got a win by forfeit. Marcus Bear at 175 defeated Gabe Kaplan of Belle Plaine by fall. At 190, 215, and 285, South Tama got wins as the Plainsmen were open. So those went to Drew Mellies, Gavin Bridgewater, and Kyan McBride. Bradley Lewis of Belle Plaine got a forfeit victory at 106, as STC has not had a 106-pounder all season. South Tama's Cale Graff got a win by fall against Hunter Henry at 113. Ramiro Sakic got a win. Major decision win against Jackson Weeda at 120. Really nice win there for him. Amari Chavez defeated Hayden Newhouse by fall at 126. Clayton Babinet, quickest pin of the duel. 22 seconds is all it took for Clayton Babinet to dispatch Peyton Weeda at 132. And then 138, kind of the marquee matchup of this duel. Mikhail Bear of South Tama coming in ranked against the state qualifier and Aiden Tim from Belle Plaine. And Mikhail Bear really in control in that one, and he gets the win by fall in the third period. At 144, Drayton White got a decision win 3-2 against William Sankett. And at 150, Wade Sankett defeated Anthony Thompson by fall. And the last one of the duel was Andrew Argo of Belle Plaine defeating Kinzer Jeanette at 157 by fall. In JV action, South Tama's Cody Blocker and Alejandro Valdez both got wins. Both came by fall there, so congrats to those kids as well. So that's the action on this Belle Plaine duel. South Tama is going to wrestle Tipton next. So far, Tipton leading Belle, no, that was Belle Plaine, excuse me. They're not leading Benton, I don't believe. Here we go. No, Benton Community leading 32-12, currently in team scoring with 4 bouts yet to go. At 106, Benton Community's Garrett Cook defeated Keaton Schultz of Tipton by 6-3 decision. At 113, Tipton's Michael Puffer defeated Benton's Jason Eastman by a 9-4 decision. At 120, Tipton's Jason Johnson defeated Brock Corrigan of Benton Community by fall. At 126, Tipton's Gavin Sorgenfrey defeated Ryan Kaler from Benton Community by 7-5 decision. And then right now we've got up on the mat Eli Kupka wrestling Gavin Roth. Brendan Hying of Benton defeated Kendrick Heffernan by tech fall at 165. To start the duel, Mason Mitchell of Benton Community defeated Tipton's Josh Stepper by fall at 175. And then the Tigers were open at 190, 215, and 285. So Benton got wins by forfeit for Troy Kupka, Will Clausen, and Brendan Blagan. Really a competitive duel if you take away the 3 open weights. So they're wrestling 132 and 138. 3 more bouts to go after these are done. So a little bit of time yet before we get to kind of go ultra wide here. A little bit of time before we get into South Tama's round 3 duel. And as we wait for South Tama's last duel of the night to kind of get underway, we're going to step away. We're just going to kind of let the mic catch the overhead PA announcer for a little while. And we'll be back with some more action as soon as South Tama takes the mats here in a few minutes.
Now wrestling match number 1 at 150 pounds for the Tigers, Logan Lanning. And for your Bobcats, CJ Krogman. Number 2 at 157 pounds for the Tigers, Aiden Green. And for your Bobcats, Blake Hine.
Just go talk to them.
All right, welcome in live. Darvin Graham here with you on the call from Benton Community High School. Just getting to the tail end of this second round, just to give you an update, Benton Community is going to have their senior night recognition between round 2 and round 3. So we're going to have a little more delay, running about a half hour behind schedule this evening. So look for round 3 to start. We've got one more bout on the mat here. You can see to the right side of your screen. That's the last one of this round 2. Then they'll jump into senior night festivities, probably maybe 10 minutes there, and then we'll hopefully get round 3 underway, although I don't know if Tipton's going to have to wait any, or if either of these teams are going to have to wait before they get back on the mats again. There might be enough. It might be Benton that might have to hold things up because Belle Plaine only has a couple of JV kids that wrestled, and South Tama could probably wrestle quite a few JV kids against Tipton, but we will see. So stay tuned. South Tama and Tipton yet to come. Kind of a fun thing that we're looking at for this Tipton duel. At 138, South Tama's Mikhail Bear wrestling for his 100th career victory. He's got 99. Came in a win against Aiden Tim, Belle Plaine in round 2. And they could be, he's looking to match up against Max Lashmit of Tipton at 138. So we'll keep an eye on that. Be ready to celebrate if he gets that done. A couple of Trojans already hit that mark this season. Teammates Amari Chavez and Gavin Bridgewater celebrated that 100 match milestone, and plenty of wrestling yet to go. Mikhail Bear going to be joining them shortly, I'm sure. Broadcast reminder, we'll be live tomorrow evening on Friday the 26th. It's throwback night at the Roundhouse. South Tama hosting Vinton Shellsburg for a girl-boy doubleheader. Girls are going to start at 6 p.m., followed by the boys varsity game. We're going to have a special dedication of a plaque that's honoring the history of the STC Trojan Head emblem and its creator, Adolph Bear. And so that is set to happen between the girls and boys game. It's also going to be the annual Youth Winter Cheer Clinic. They're going to have their kids that participated in that tomorrow are going to have their performance as well. So that usually brings out a good crowd. Our throwback t-shirts and sweatshirts and hoodies that we've put together as part of the Trojan Head emblem dedication are also going to be on sale at the cafeteria, along with the tennis program's bracelet sale fundraiser. So plenty of activities. If you're not busy on Friday night, get out to the Roundhouse. I don't think it's going to be freezing weather, probably raining, but you're going to be inside anyway, so you might as well come down and spend your Friday cheering on the Trojans. It should be an intriguing matchup both on the girls and boys varsity side. They've been playing, girls had a close game on Tuesday. Boys kind of working on one of their better seasons in the last 4 or 5 years. So plenty of excitement or improvement to be excited about for South Tama basketball programs. All right, like I said, we're waiting on Benton Community to do their senior night activities. And we'll probably just turn over the mic and catch the PA audio as they announce those kids and do that recognition in front of their home crowd here. And we'll cut back in and get you going with round 3 action. South Tama will be taking on Tipton. Belle Plaine will be taking on Benton over on the left side of your screen.
Tonight we would like to
mat
take
1.
just a few minutes and
All right, we'll be back
recognize
after
3
this.
outstanding seniors
Senior night
involved in the
recognition.
wrestling program
Thanks for being with us on
here at
Trojan
Benton
Country.
We have ladies first. Our first senior we want to recognize tonight is Ava Nolan. She is being escorted by her father Justin and mother Lisa Nolan. She has participated in wrestling and football cheer along with NHS. Her future plans are to attend Iowa State University. Her favorite cheer memory is cheering with her best friends. Give it up for Ava Nolan. Next, we have Mary Phillips. Mary is being escorted by her mother, Michelle Phillips, and Brett Harder of Keystone. Mary has participated in cheer, cross country, FCCLA, softball, and NHS. Her future plans are to attend Florida Gulf Coast University and major in forensic science. Her favorite cheer memory is getting tackled by the Mount Vernon quarterback. And I was there to see it. She's pretty tough. Please give a round of applause for Mary Phillips. Our one senior tonight is Brennan Blegan. Brennan is the son of Michael and Jessica Blegan of Blairstown. And while in high school, he has been involved in football, wrestling, and track. In the fall, Brennan is going to attend the University of North Dakota to study kinesiology and play football. His favorite wrestling memory is trading food with everyone before competitions and all of the food we eat when the season is over. Let's hear it for senior Brennan Blegan. The administration, coaching staff would like to thank Ava, Mary, and Brennan for all the time and effort given to the Benton Community Wrestling Program. Let's give one big round of applause for our seniors, Ava, Mary, and Brennan. Thank you, seniors. Number 3, Varsity will start at 175 pounds. There's going to be 3 matches on mat number 1 for JV, 5 matches on mat number 2.
All right, looks like we're just about ready to get things started with varsity action. Well, it'll be JV action first, but we're going to get underway. We're not going to have to wait to get these duels going. South Tama and Tipton will have 5 JV bouts leading into their varsity duel. So a little bit of time yet before we start varsity action, but we're getting there. Okay. Not sure who our first JV bout's going to be here for South Tama. Got a couple of JV wrestlers for Belle Plaine and Tipton, or Belle Plaine and Benton, checking in at the moment. Yet, still waiting for a South Tama kid to get up here. So we're going to start at our
Can
lightest
I
weight.
get a South Tama or Tipton coach to the head table, please?
It'll be Eli Cruikshank for South Tama, and it looks to be Caden Schultz for Tipton.
Now wrestling mat number 1, JV, Eli Meredith, Belle Plaine, Jamie Myers, Benton Community. On deck, mat number 1, Parker Weeda, Belle Plaine, St. Edmund, Benton Community, and in the hole, mat number 1, Mason Spear, Belle Plaine, Caden Wright, Benton Community.
We're still waiting for, looks like they're trying to get some track wrestling stuff situated. As Eli Cruikshank's going to be checking in here shortly. Gotta love track wrestling. Just the best, easiest program I've ever worked with. We got varsity basketball action coming your way on Friday. South Tama's girls and boys wrestling teams active over the weekend. The girls go to Mason City for their super regional state qualifying meet. Top 4 wrestlers in each category advance to the state tournament from those. And the boys going to Williamsburg to compete in the annual WAMAC conference meet. We will not have coverage of either of those things. The Girls Union has control of the video access for the Super Regional, and the flow wrestling is going to be, well, the company doing the flow wrestling, track wrestling coverage for the WAMAC meet will be has the rights to the video access there. So if you want to follow along, go to track wrestling for both of those is where you can find the video coverage there for this weekend's action. We'll be live again at the district meet. There's a quick, nice roll there by Cruikshank as we get things started. This is JV action for South Tama and Tipton. 5 matches we've got here on tap before we get started with varsity. And I believe we are going to start things off at 175 on the varsity side. So we'll see how that shakes out. Caden Schultz with a takedown out of that exchange. He's leading 2-0 now against Eli Cruikshank of South Tama. First period, midway into the first period we are. Minute 15 left to go. These two wrestlers scrambling pretty well here. Schultz has pretty tight control of the left leg for Cruikshank. And Cruikshank just kind of trying to defend at this point with 40 seconds to go.
Now wrestling match number
Kind of
1,
just
Parker
turning
Wiedenfeld,
circles here.
Sage Edward, Benton Community.
And they'll stalemate and go to the middle. 32 seconds on the clock as we reset things in the center of the mat. 2-point lead for Schultz of Tipton. And the throw. And Schultz was already working on top, so there's a reversal if he can get the head out. And Schultz trying to get out of bounds. And I think he's going to get awarded. Schultz comes up with another point out of that exchange. Cruikshank almost had. Okay, hold on here. They scored it wrong. And so the official coming to correct the track clock. Okay, scored 2-1. Cruikshank does get the escape out of that. And so no more points awarded to Schultz. Now we're straightened out. We go to round number 2. Cruikshank for South Tama trailing by 1. This is JV action. We've got 4 more JV bouts coming here against Tipton, and then we start varsity action in dual play. Cruikshank in trouble here, though. Takedown by Schultz. Near fall points will be awarded if Cruikshank can get back and turn himself over, but he is getting some good pressure on the top side there by Schultz. Minute 28. Cruikshank kind of at sea here a little bit. Having to defend. Gets the lower half engaged there and gets to his side. Schultz putting a lot of pressure on the shoulders. Just got a ton of leverage, and he gets the pin. Good effort there by Eli Cruikshank trying to defend off of that, but Caden Schultz comes up on top. Next up for South Tama, it's going to be Cody Blocker. He's had 2 wins so far in his JV action. And he looks to be matching up against Braden Shalise.
Tipton coach to the head table, please.
And Tipton looks to be having some kind of lineup issue here. As we We got Cody Blocker waiting to check in. They're going to get a different kid up on the table. We'll see who this is going to be.
Now wrestling mat number 2, JV from Tipton, Braden Shalista.
All right, so this one, we had the wrong kid the first time. Braden Shalista is the wrestler we have out here for Tipton now. He's wrestling against Cody Blocker. Blocker with a quick takedown. Out to work early. Blocker, a team captain for the football team this year, is a junior. And with the injury history he's had in his younger high school years, he's kind of just getting back into form as well with the wrestling team. So he's mostly been working on the JV side this season, but with several seniors exiting the program next year, going to be plenty of opportunity for him to step into a leadership role as he continues to compete and develop.
Now wrestling mat number 1 for Belle Plaine, Mason Spear. And for your Bobcats, Caden Wright. This is the last JV match. On mat number 1, we will be starting with Varsity 175-pounders following this match.
And Blocker kind of leans over to get the left shoulder turn, but not much happening there. 30 seconds left to go, first period. Blocker with a takedown early. And he's been trying to set up a turn ever since. Shalista back to his knees, but Blocker doing a good job breaking the hips again. Trying to get the arm push back. Stays on top, 6 seconds. Into the first period. Cody Blocker for South Tama's JV squad leading 2-0 against Braden Shalista of Tipton. At 144 is the weight class we're wrestling at. Shalista to start on bottom, trying to get on the board here. Blocker with the mat return, trying to stay heavy on top. 30 seconds away in the second period. Shalista finally gets turned around, tries for the reversal, has the headlock kind of put in there, but Blocker in trouble here. He's going to have to get back to his front side. Shalista will have points awarded. He's got near fall points, and he's going to come away with the pin. So Braden Shalista puts together a nice sequence coming off of a reversal to pin Cody Blocker in the second period. And we go to our third JV bout of this Tipton duel.
Now wrestling on mat number 2, we need Emmett Steinman, Tipton, Kyle Youngbear, South Tama. On deck, mat number 2, Austin Ellerhoff, Tipton, Ryden Hill, South Tama. And in the hole, David Mackey, Tipton, David King, South Tama.
Okay, looks like Kyle Youngbear is going to be wrestling next for South Tama. And when they brought the wrong kids up the first time, so we've got new kids checking in. I don't know who Tipton's got here.
Now wrestling mat number 2, Emmett Steinman, Tipton, Kyle Youngbear, South Tama. Again, in the hole, Austin Ellerhoff, Tipton, Ryden Hill, South Tama. And then we have David Mackey, Tipton, David King, South Tama.
Okay, so we have South Tama's Kyle Youngbear wrestling Emmett Steinman of Tipton in this third JV bout. Youngbear lost by 1 point in the last round. No, that was the first, that was round 1 against his Benton opponent, excuse me. Have a JV bout in round 2, and here he is now against Steinman of Tipton in round 3. Scoreless, but he just powers his way through Steinman, putting him in trouble, finishing it off under a minute, and Kyle Youngbear with the pin against Tipton's Emmett Steinman. Good work there by the freshman. He's going to be one to watch as well after this season. Just really unfortunate that we did not get to see Kyle and Jacob wrestling together this year. Jacob, a state qualifier last year as a junior, unable to wrestle this season after a football injury. He's stayed with the team. He's here tonight cheering on his teammates, and he's just been a part of the wrestling team this season. So definitely feel for him as he's working through that. But
Tipton, Ryden Hill, South Tama.
We go to our next JV bout. South Tama's Ryden Hill will wrestle Austin Ellerhoff of Tipton. Hill quickly scoring a takedown. Ellerhoff works his way back up. And he's going to try a throw, and he'll get a takedown. We'll get a reversal, excuse me. Tied 2-2, Ryden Hill in JV action, wrestling against Austin Ellerhoff of Tipton. Minute 20 to go left in the first period. We have a varsity duel coming up between South Tama and Tipton. Tipton for sure is going to be open at 215 and 285. I think they were also open at 190 against Benton earlier. So, and South Tama is open at 106. So things could move quicker. And Ellerhoff finishes off Ryden Hill of South Tama by fall. In the first period.
Mat number 2 from Tipton, David Mackey, and for South Tama, David King.
Next up for South Tama, it will be freshman David King wrestling Tipton's David Mackey. At 157. Benton and Belle Plaine getting ready to start varsity action now on mat 1. Got one more bout after this for JV for South Tama and Tipton, and then we'll get varsity wrestling happening there. Still scoreless here, 1 minute to go. Mackey scores a takedown. Escape and a reversal, or escape and a takedown for David King.
For the Plainsmen, King Kaplan. And for your Bobcats, Mason Mitchell.
King looking pretty solid on top, trying to get the right shoulder of Mackey turned. 10 seconds, though, left in the first period. End of period number 1. David King leading David Mackey of Tipton 3-2. Red's choice, and Mackey will start in neutral. Now the music you're hearing overhead is the walkout music for Benton Community's wrestlers. So we'll have that kind of interspersed throughout the rest of the evening here. King not working through a nice scramble here. Mackey coming away with 2 takedown points. And so he jumps back on, or he jumps out to a 5-2 lead. But King scores right back. So 5-4 is where we're at here. After kind of a bang-bang. A couple of takedowns there. And an escape awarded to King as well. So he gets it tied up 5-5. 1 minute to go and headgear problems. So we're going to wait for Mackey to get his headgear fixed up.
At 106 pounds, mat number 1 for Belle Plaine, Bradley Lewis. And for your Bobcats, Garrett Cook.
And there we go, tied 5-5. David King looking for a JV win here. I don't believe he's been on the mat yet this evening. Shot by Mackey, defended by King. King gets around to the right side. Still no takedown awarded. Mackey just driving into the hips of David King. He gets the leg turned around. Still tied 5-5, but I think Mackey might have the takedown in here. If he can get his get his arm pushed through. 12 seconds, and he does get the takedown. 7-5 now the score. Two seconds, 1 second, end of the second period. Back and forth we go in this 157-pound bout. And the Tipton coach talking through the scoring here with the official, so we got another break in the action. I promise you, there's varsity wrestling coming. Just not yet.
For the Plainsmen, Hunter Henry. For your Bobcats, Jason Eastman.
And now South Tama's Travis Smith coming over to talk about the score. They changed it to 9-5. I'm not close enough to really hear what they're saying. Tipton seems to think that takedown was missed there somewhere, but we shall see.
So 120 pounds back, number 1 for Belle Plaine,
So the Tipton coach goes to the bench.
For your Bobcats,
Coach Smith still talking things over. The official still with the score. Doesn't look like we're quite ready to go back to action yet. And it's going to stay 9-5. Okay. Start of the third period. David King of South Tama on bottom to begin. He's trailing by 4. He's going to need a couple things to happen here, but a lot of points scored in that second period, so we'll see how the pause in action kind of affects both wrestlers here. Mackey in control on the top side, trying to get King turned over. Just being aggressive with the shoulders, just trying to keep the hips of King moving forward so he can't get his base built back up, and the shoulder goes over. King in trouble here, minute 22 on the clock. King trailing by 4 before these near fall points were put on, and the pin for David Mackey of Tipton, defeating David King of South Tama. Okay, varsity wrestling. Here we go. South Tama will start. Looks like we've got Marcus Barrett, 175, looks to be our first wrestler of the night. As the teams go to center, I'm gonna say center court, but you don't say center court, it's center mat. Is that a term? Maybe. This will be the more evenly matched duel here between these two 2A schools, South Tama and Tipton. Tipton bringing closer to a full roster. However, they are open at least 215 and 285, so they give up at least one more forfeit. So we know we've got Marcus Bear first for South Tama. I don't know who his opponent is going to be, as the kid we've got listed here for Tipton wrestled on the JV side, so it's going to have to be somebody else. But Coach Van Dyke working with the scorer's table right now, trying to get some track wrestling stuff squared away.
Number 2, Varsity, 175 pounds. For the Trojans, Marcus Bear. And for the Tigers, Josh Stepper.
It's going to be Josh Stepper lacing it up against Marcus Bear. Quick takedown by Bear, puts him at a 2-0 lead. Stepper the escape, but another quick response there by Bear as he scores another takedown. And he cuts Stepper. Looking at can Marcus get a tech fall situation here? One minute to go left in the first period. Marcus Bear in control against Josh Stepper of Tipton. Bear getting ready to cut him again. He goes back down to the leg, maybe a turn now. And a cradle situation. That looks pretty good there. Stepper trying to get the head poked out. 37 seconds. That's the Benton and Belle Plaine duel you're hearing off to the left. We just had a match go final. Another takedown. Takedown for Bear, leading now 12.
Hey, over here, bud. I got the computer.
12-4. Into the first period, Marcus Bear leading Josh Stepper of Tipton 12-4.
Number 1 for the Plainsmen, Hayden Newhouse. And for your Bobcats, Ryan Kohler.
Bear gets to his feet. Trying to score the escape against Stepper. Okay, so 3 points come out of that exchange as Stepper was called for violation for locking hands, and then the reversal was awarded to Bear. .50 seconds left, second period. Marcus Bear on top against Josh Stepper of Tipton. Bear just trying to get to a cradle here as he sort of put together the tech fall situation in the first period, but he's trying to work for a turn here now with 30 seconds left to go in the second. First bout of this last duel tonight. Tipton took a loss to Benton Community. South Tama got a win against Belle Plaine in round 2. Trojans and the Bobcats have wrestled multiple times this season. They're going to see each other again on Saturday at the WAMAC tournament. So in the interest of time, they decided to just wrestle kind of a triangular type format. 15-4, Marcus Bear leading against Stepper. All right, Marcus Bear with 1:30 to either get the pin here and he does get the pin. Marcus Bear winning by fall against Josh Stepper of Tipton. And that gets South Tama on the board first. Okay, now we get to our open weights. So at 190, Drew Mellies takes a forfeit win. Gavin Bridgewater will take a forfeit win at 215. And Kyan McBride will take a win by forfeit at 285. So all three of those wrestlers not getting on the mat this evening, which is unfortunate, but
at 190 pounds, Drew
sometimes it happens like that.
At 215 pounds, Gavin Bridgewater. South Tama accepts a forfeit.
I think that'll take us up to 113 as South Tama is open at 106.
At 285 pounds, Kyan McBride, South Tama accepts a forfeit. At 106 pounds, Tipton's Keaton Schultz accepts a forfeit.
And then Keaton Schultz gets the win by forfeit at 106, and that will take our team score to South Tama 24, Tipton 6. We started with a win by fall for Marcus Bear at 175.
For the Trojans, Cale Graff.
And our next bout comes at 113. South Tama's Cale Graff against Michael Puffer of Tipton. Graff the single leg. Still scoreless. Puffer tried the kind of the cradle angle there, but unable to complete the maneuver, and Graff will come away with the takedown, leading 2-0 now. Cale Graff got a win by fall in his first bout this evening.
And for your Bobcats, Elias Fishke.
Graff leading 4-0 now with 1:06 to go in the first period. Another takedown there. And no near fall points awarded, so now 6-0. Cradle not happening there again for Graff, but he's got more near fall points to come here after this settles. Coach Van Dyke challenging Graff to get back on top. Puffer able to catch Graff on a corner, and so he gets his first points. 2 near fall for Graff, and the reversal by Puffer. Now near fall coming for Tipton's Puffer. Graff in trouble here, 6 seconds. He's gonna have to be real careful. And that's the end of the second period. Graff survives the exchange, but it narrows the score to 3. 8-5 now after the reversal and the near fall points for Michael Puffer of Tipton. And that evens things out here a little bit as we go to period number 2. Puffer to start underneath. Graff trying that kind of same angle to get the shoulders out and around into the cradle position. Puffer breaks loose. 3 near fall points there off the exchange for Cale Graff. And the escape for Puffer. 11-6 now in favor of Cale Graff of South Tama. A minute to go in the second period. Graff looking for his second win of the night. Michael Puffer defeated Jason Eastman from Benton Community 9-4 in their first. Well, let's see, Tipton's wrestled twice already. And Hunter Henry defeated Puffer in round 1 from Belle Plaine. And Graff got a win over Henry in round 2. So Puffer so far 1-1. Graff looking to become 2-0. Into the second period, Cale Graff still leading here 13-6. Coach Van Dyke encouraging Cale to keep the feet moving, keep advancing here, even though he's got the controlling lead. Saw kind of a sticky situation in the early second period there. Minute 45 now on the clock. Puffer breaks down. Graff controlling the shoulders, trying to get around to the backside again. Scoops up the leg. Back to that cradle, the takedown, and the pin. Cale Graff, perfect on the night. 2 pins for the junior as he defeats Michael Puffer by fall in the